Hello, we are going to see 25 MCQs on Renaissance literary movement. First question is, who is considered as the father of Renaissance? So the answer is Petrarch. He is considered as the father of Renaissance because he revived the classical learning and he shaped intellectual as well as cultural movement of the Renaissance. He was quite popular for his sonnets, which inspired William Shakespeare also. His literary works are celebrated for classical Greek and Roman culture. The correct answer is Petrarch. Second question is, which of the following is the characteristics of Renaissance literature? Renaissance literature mostly focused upon classical Greek and Roman culture. There are several popular works which has taken place during Renaissance, whether it is Petrarch's sonnets or Machiavelli's The Prince, which is considered as the seminal work. So in the third question, the same they have asked, The Prince, which is written by the Machiavelli, it is considered as the seminal work of Renaissance literature. What is the meaning of word seminal? Seminal means pioneer work. What was the primary focus of Renaissance humanism? Like the name suggests, it is emphasizing upon the classical culture, study of it, and focus was entirely on individualism as well as intellectual curiosity. Examples include Petrarch's sonnets and Erasmus, who has written in praise of folly. Fifth question, who was a prominent female writer of the Renaissance? So it's Christine de Pizan or Christine de Pizan. She is pioneer for feminist works. She has in fact inspired great writers such as Virginia Woolf. Her major works includes The Book of the City of Ladies and The Treasure of the Cities of Ladies. Moving ahead, which of the following is an example of Renaissance literary genre? We already know there were many poets during Renaissance period. Sonnets, which was made popular by Petrarch and later on by William Shakespeare. Even the pastoral romance, William Shakespeare is popular for pastoral works, where more focus is paid upon the themes of love, nature, and human experiences. During this period, we have seen Edmund Spenser, who has written The Fairy Queen. Next question is about The Fairy Queen, which is the masterpiece. Like I mentioned earlier, it is written by Edmund Spenser. He is also one of the great writers during the Renaissance period, including the William Shakespeare. Now, what exactly has been written in The Fairy Queen? It's on Queen Elizabeth I. It talks about, or in fact, it celebrates the virtue of Queen Elizabeth I, and common themes are chivalry, love, and morality. Other major works of Edmund Spenser is The Fairy Queen, Amoreti, and Epithalamion. 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 Moving ahead, next question. What was the name of literary movement that emerged in England during the Renaissance period? We already discussed in the previous question that focus was on Queen Elizabeth I. Therefore, it could also be termed as Elizabethan era. There was more flourishment of drama, poetry, and prose during this period. Examples include Shakespeare's plays and Spenser's poetry. Who was a prominent playwright of the Renaissance? So during the Renaissance period, many popular playwrights were there, which included William Shakespeare, Christopher Marlowe, and Ben Jonson. Next question. Which of the following is a characteristics of Renaissance drama? Emphasis was on Greek and Roman models and spectacle as well as special effects. Focus on the lives of common people. So all the three options are correct. Who wrote The Tempest, a play that explores themes of colonialism and power? The Tempest is written by William Shakespeare. The Tempest explores themes of colonialism, power, and human nature, which showcases the mastery of William Shakespeare's language and drama. Other major works of William Shakespeare includes *Midsummer's Night Dreams*, which is a comical work, and *The Merchant of Venice*. What was the name of literary circle that emerged in Italy during Renaissance? So it's a Platonic academy out of all the option. It was a literary circle which emerged in Italy, and it focused upon classical learning, philosophy, and intellectual curiosity. Some major works which took place during this period was Ficino's translation of Plato and Polizino's poetry. Polizino as well as Ficino's works. Who was the prominent poet during Renaissance? Now we are focusing upon the poets, not upon the playwrights. So all these three options are correct, which includes John Donne, George Herbert, and Andrew Marvell. They were metaphysical poets. They explored themes of love, death, and spirituality. Common works which we can remember about them is The Sun Rising, Forbidding Morning, and A Valediction. 14th question. Which of the following is an example of Renaissance poetic form? So sonnet, definitely it is there. Commonly popular due to Petrarch and William Shakespeare, as well as ode, elegy. So these three were quite common during that period. Who wrote Astrophil and Stella, a sonnet sequence that explores themes of love and desire? So it was written by Philip Sidney. He was also quite popular during Renaissance period. Again, it emphasizes upon themes of love, desire, and creativity. Astrophil and Stella is major work of Philip Sidney. Another one is The Defense of Poesy. Next, what was the primary focus of Renaissance literary criticism? So focus was entirely on classical models and study of them. I already mentioned one work of Philip Sidney in the last question, which was The Defense of Poesy. It is one of the examples of Renaissance literary criticism. Another one which we can remember is Ben Jonson's Timber or Discoveries. Moving ahead, who was a prominent literary critic of Renaissance? So he is considered as critic of Renaissance, and that is Philip Sidney. He is known for his essays and treatises on poetry, drama, and literature. Common works like discussed, The Defense of Poesy and Astrophil and Stella. Next question, which of the following is characteristic of Renaissance literary style? Classical allusions, emphasis on metaphor and imagery, focus on clarity and simplicity, all of them. So metaphor is making comparison between two unlike things, whereas simile is making comparisons between two alike things. Who wrote The Anatomy of Melancholy? It is a treatise on psychology and literature. So Robert Burton had written The Anatomy of Melancholy. And the other works of his is The Author's Abstract. What was the name of literary movement that emerged in France during Renaissance? So literary movement La Plaide. I would pronounce that La Plaide. I don't know how it is pronounced in French, so you can pronounce accordingly. Again, the emphasis was upon intellectual curiosity, poetic innovation, and classical learning. What was the prominent, who was the prominent writer of the French Renaissance? So Francois, Michael de Montaigne, Pierre de Ronsard, all three of them. Which of the following is an example of Renaissance literary theme? Nature of love, meaning of love, the role of women in society. So all three of them. Who wrote The Cameron? A collection of novellas that explores themes of love and morality. It's Giovanni Boccaccio. Giovanni Boccaccio. he has written about the Cameron, the Decameron. Another work include the elegy of Lady Fiamma. The elegy of Lady Fiamma. What was the primary focus of Renaissance literary patronage? So it was about the patronage of artists and writers in their works. Last question. Who was a prominent patron of Renaissance literary movement? So it's Lorenzo de Medici. His great works includes. Okay, he is actually a patron here, according to the question. We will discuss about his works later on, and it talks about the patron. Another examples of patronage is Poliziano, Ficino, and Michelangelo during that period.